Hey, it's Barry with Sequoia Supply. How are you? I'm coming to you today talking about a subject that's near and dear to my heart, the art of coffee. And as most of you have probably wondered, is what is the best way and the best style of coffee I can get in the backcountry? And I'm a firm believer that you can go ultra light, or you can continue with taking your kitchen safely and lightly to the backcountry. So over the years, I've decided to land on bringing a piece of my kitchen with me. And the best device that I've found to have for coffee on the road, camping, backcountry, wherever you want to go, is the Aeropress. And this particular version is the Aeropress Go. It's a compact version of the original Aeropress. It's a wonderful little device, and I'll make a cup of coffee with you today, but I'll tell you a couple of things about it. The nice thing about it is it's compact, it's relatively light. It's not as light as an instant cup of coffee, but if you say that an instant cup of coffee is your favorite variety of coffee, then you're not a coffee lover. Instant coffee usually tastes burnt. And it's something that you use to be caffeinated, and it's not something that you do to enjoy. Whereas a cup of Aeropress combines a variety of different coffee making techniques. The way that I use it, I use it like a pour over. I have a part of this system you almost is like using a French press, like a Bodum. And then the last part of it is a little bit of pressurized coffee, which is really what this thing is designed for. So you're kind of then getting into something that would be on the lowest pressure side of espresso coffee. So it really takes all of the goodness out of the coffee and sticks it into your cup, because there's no reason while you're sitting there enjoying a mountain scene that you shouldn't have a good cup of coffee. So I'm going to run through the process. It takes a few minutes, but what I've found over the years of using AeroPresses is everybody has their own little way of doing it. I've honestly have learned through a variety of different sources. I've gone to the internet, but some of the techniques that I use I've actually developed as a result of chatting with my sons. The first thing you need is your favorite variety of coffee. If you're going to the backcountry, you often will pre-grind. In this particular case, I have our grinder here that we use here at the shop here in Calgary. So I'm just gonna grind a bit of coffee, and then we'll go from there. I've picked a variety of local beans or local roasted coffee here. It's a South American coffee that was roasted just down the road at Devil's Head. This particular one's called Alberta Jam, and it's one of our favorites here at the store. So I just use the scoop, just a heaping spoon of this. And then this particular grinder, you can set the grind to whatever you want. I have it preset specifically for Aeropress because that's really the only variety that we would use here at the shop. It's a single cup serving. And the end product is a nice clean little puck, which we'll go over. So I'll just start by grinding the coffee. Usually what happens with these hand grinders, if you guys know about them, is they have a tendency to stick to the side. So to break the static electricity, I just give it a bit of a shot. Then I take the Aeropress, and if you follow the directions, you put on the cup, and then you turn it upside down, and then you put it right on directly onto your container that you want to put the coffee in. I do things a little bit differently. I actually fix the plunger to the top, I guess, of the actual coffee maker, and then I turn it upside down. And then what I do is I just pour the contents into the cup. I give it a tap. Again, it breaks the static electricity charge that keeps the grind to the plastic container or to the steel container. And then I just pour in some water. I like to do it this way because I find that if I don't do it this way and I just go directly by placing the filter onto the bottom, and then I go through that process, because of the CO2 release that is created as a result of putting in hot water, I find that you actually don't get the same amount of coffee every time. I'm really all about reproducing coffee, so that every cup to me tastes exactly the same. So just pour in a little bit of water. I usually get it pretty close to the top. You can see it's bubbling. That would be mostly CO2 that's released. So then I just give it a little bit of a stir. What that does is it is it stirs up the grounds or inside the actual water. So it makes sure that everything is properly coated, that you actually get all of the flavors out of the coffee. The other thing it does is it helps to speed up the process of the release of the CO2. Now you can see I've got a little bit of freeboard. I've got probably another 3/4, couple centimeters of space there. Then I usually just top it up and then I'll let it sit again. This would be kind of the French press style right now. So you're letting things just kind of settle. If you have lots of time, then you could let it settle for a little bit longer. But typically I don't worry too much about that with the Aeropress, specifically because I'm ending with a bit of pressurization, which then compensates for that. The other thing I like to do is I like to just, I've already inserted the filter that goes into the cup. What I always do, and if you don't do this, you end up with the filter on top of your coffee and then you actually can't put the cup on. So then I just shake the water out. So now it's stuck to it. I just simply turn it upside down, press it into place, and make sure you do the critical part of actually locking it in place, or else you end up with coffee everywhere. Then you take your favorite mug. In this case, it's a Sequoia mug, and you carefully take it because you don't have a lot of room there. You just turn it upside down, and then you just press. And you can press it to your heart's content, but usually I press it just hard enough that everything is expelled at a reasonable rate. Now you have a good cup of coffee. And then the thing that I like the best is you have to, obviously, what you bring in, you carry out. That's the downside of Aeropress. So a downside of a good cup of coffee is you have to carry out the grounds. But if you just remove it, you take that off, and then with the filter and the puck, it just expels. So it comes out in a reasonable, nice little system here. And then you can just easily take this little scraper, scrape it off, give it a rinse, and then you put it back in your backcountry bag. And it's as easy as that. And you will get, I promise you, you will get the best cup of backcountry coffee that you'll ever imagine. Cheers.